You ever get the feeling someone's being nice to you, only to realize later they weren't trying to help at all, but to control you? They'll weaponize kindness, silence, and praise so subtly you don't even see the trap snapping shut. 1 minute you're feeling on top of the world, and the next you're scrambling for their approval. That's manipulation, and it doesn't come with a warning label. You're trained to think it's kindness, but behind the smile is a tactic, emotional leverage. Machiavelli didn't coach you on how to be liked. He showed you how to rule. Here's the brutal truth. Whoever controls your emotions controls your choices. If shame makes you apologize when you've done nothing wrong, if flattery has you bending over backward, if they go quiet and you panic, you're not in the driver's seat. You're being played. Most people will keep you in that state because it benefits them. But if you're watching this, you're not most people. You want to see the game, sharpen your mind, and flip the script. This isn't self-help, it's war. So hit the comments right now. No one controls me anymore. That's your opening move. 1. Emotional bait. Guilt, praise, and silence. Manipulators don't need handcuffs or threats. They have 3 weapons. Guilt, praise, and silence. Guilt is their knife. They make you feel selfish for protecting your time, for saying no, even for having boundaries. That little pang of, am I being unreasonable? Is the blade they twist. Praise is the leash. A compliment here, a nod of approval there. It's just enough to get you addicted. Next thing you know, you're hunting for more validation. Silence is the killer. They vanish without explanation, leaving you anxious, confused, desperate for a clue. You'll text, call, overanalyze every word you ever sent. Your response. When they guilt trip you, stay calm. Don't react. When they flatter you, nod and move on. Don't chase more. When they go mute, mirror them. Pull back with composed distance. Any reaction is a reward to the manipulator. Your stillness, your clarity, that's how you flip the power. If you're done being baited like a puppet, comment, I control my emotions, not the other way around. 2. Perception is power. Reality takes a back seat to perception. People don't respond to who you are. They respond to who they think you are. Machiavelli knew this. Appearing virtuous is more crucial than actually being virtuous, because if no one sees your real value, it might as well not exist. Imagine you're the most capable person in the room, but you slouch, you mumble, you blend in. Everyone will treat you like wallpaper. Manipulators live by this rule. Control how they're perceived. Charm, mystery, value. Even if it's all an act, people buy in because we crave status, dominance, and intrigue. Your move. Limit your availability. Speak less. Make each word count. Dress sharply. Own your look. Move with purpose. Act like you're not seeking permission. When you make access hard to get, people value it more. Swap desperation for confidence. Let them feel they have to earn your attention. If you're done being invisible, comment, my presence is my leverage. 3. Never explain, never justify. As soon as you start explaining yourself, you hand over intel. Every excuse is a peek behind your curtain, and manipulators use that glimpse to find your weak points. They watch how you defend your choices, how badly you want to be understood, and then they exploit it. Here's the hard truth. People don't want your reasons. They want your reaction. Stop feeding them explanations for your silence, your boundaries, your decisions. But it's because chips away at your authority. A man of real value doesn't need to justify himself. His actions speak his truth. Silence is more powerful than any speech. When someone questions your absence or tries to bait you into a debate, don't fill the void. Let them sit in their own uncertainty. The more they wonder, the more they chase. And when you refuse to explain, you reclaim the position of power. Your stance. Hold your ground without a word. Maintain your boundary. Let silence broadcast your strength. If you're done proving yourself to people who never deserved it, comment now. I owe no one an explanation. You've already learned how to disarm emotional bait, build unshakable perception, and refuse to justify your decisions. Now it's time to upgrade your toolkit with 3 more power moves. The mirror tactic, mastering emotional discipline, and strategic absence. Let's dive in. 4. The mirror tactic: reflect their game, don't absorb it. Most people get trapped because they react reflexively. Somebody slaps you with guilt, and you scramble to defend yourself. They flatter you and you attach. They ignore you and you panic, and in every moment they're pulling your strings. The mirror tactic flips the script. You refuse to be bait, and instead you hand them back their own energy. When they guilt you, instead of apologizing or offering excuses, you maintain calm indifference. No, I'm sorry. No, here's why. Just silence. Their knife of guilt loses its edge when you refuse to bleed. When they praise you, acknowledge it with a nod or a simple thanks, but don't chase more compliments. Real confidence isn't fueled by flattery. It's self-generated. They expect you to lean in, but you stand firm. When they go silent, meet absence with absence. Don't send that double text or agonize over your last message. Vanish harder. Let them sit in the silence you create. Why it works? Manipulators are programmed to provoke a reaction. They feed off your emotional chaos. Every apology, every desperate reach is data. When you mirror their tactics back to them, they get a taste of their own medicine. They expect the same manipulative loop you fell into before, but instead they find a wall of stillness. Most can't handle their own strategy reflected with precision. They either retreat or sputter in confusion. Your action step. Next time you feel the pull of their guilt, praise, or silence, pause. Check your impulse to react. Then mirror back. A calm eye, a measured response, or simply continued quiet. You're not fighting them, you're dismantling their playbook without lifting a finger. Call to comment. If you're done absorbing other people's chaos and ready to reflect control instead, drop this in the comments. I reflect control, not absorb it. 5. Emotional control equals tactical advantage. Let's get one thing straight. Emotions aren't your enemy. They're your secret weapon, but only if you govern them. Manipulators live in the emotional battlefield, not the rational arena. They don't need to outthink you. They just need to outrun your self-control. If they can trigger guilt, neediness, or insecurity, they win, because your reaction gives them leverage. Your goal is to flip that leverage right back at them. Feel everything, show nothing. When someone tries to provoke you, let the feeling wash over you internally. Acknowledge it, but keep your exterior rock solid. They expect the storm, but you give them steel. Pause before you act. When you're triggered, count to 5, take a breath, then choose a response guided by reason, not impulse. That fraction of time breaks the cycle. Use emotion as data. Notice what they're trying to spark in you. Guilt, anger, fear. And ask yourself, why does this matter? What am I giving away if I react? Then decide if it's worth your energy. Why it works. A man who can feel the heat but never burn is terrifying. Manipulators can't control what they can't predict. When they toss out an insult or a silent treatment, they're testing your reactions. If you don't react as expected, they lose their map. Your composure becomes your territory. Your action step. Practice responding with intention. Next time you're provoked, acknowledge the emotion. Okay, I'm feeling frustrated. Then let it inform a calm, strategic response, or no response at all. Make your emotions serve your objectives, not sabotage them. Call to comment. If you're done getting hijacked by your feelings and ready to weaponize your emotional discipline, comment, my emotions fuel my strategy, not theirs. 6. Strategic absence, the power of vanishing. Presence is overrated. In a world addicted to instant replies and constant connectivity, the ability to step away is a rare art. Manipulators rely on your availability. They pull back just enough to see if you'll chase. And every chase cements their power. The ultimate counter? Strategic absence. Silence is pressure. When you vanish without explanation, it creates a vacuum. They'll question their assumptions, their tactics, even their own worth. That self-doubt is your arena. Disappear intentionally. Don't ghost out of fear. Withdraw from a position of strength. No text, no calls, no clues. Let them wonder why you're not playing by their rules. Reappear on your terms. If or when you choose to re-engage, you do it with full control. Your timing is your leverage. Why it works? Constant presence makes you predictable and, therefore, controllable. Strategic absence shatters that expectation. It forces manipulators to adapt to your rhythm, not the other way around. Suddenly, they're chasing you, not the reverse. Your action step: choose one situation this week where you normally overcommunicate, maybe with a demanding friend or a pushy colleague. Instead of sending your usual follow-up, hold your position. Let your absence speak. Pay attention to how they react when you refuse to fill the silence. Call to comment. If you're done being at everyone's beck and call and ready to harness absence as power, share. My silence speaks louder than my presence. You've already mastered emotional bait, perception, silence, the mirror tactic, emotional discipline, and strategic absence. Now it's time to lock in your transformation with the final 3 principles that complete the framework: frame control, cold kindness, and the art of becoming untouchable. These aren't just tactics. You're now graduating to a mindset where every interaction reinforces your sovereignty. 7. Frame control led every interaction. Every conversation, negotiation, or relationship is governed by an unspoken framework. Whose rules apply, who sets the topic, and who defines acceptable behavior. Most people unconsciously enter other people's frames, accepting their assumptions, adapting to their emotional tempo, and defending their ground. That's surrender disguised as cooperation. Frame control means refusing to play by their script and instead dictating your own terms from the outset. Set the agenda. If someone wants to corner you into a debate or drama, don't let them pick the battleground. Redirect. Let's focus on our shared goal. Or, I'm here to solve X, not rehash old arguments. Control the tempo. Speak deliberately. Pause before responding. You own the conversational rhythm, not them. A well-timed silence forces others to fill the gap on your terms. Anchor expectations. Early in any interaction, state your standards clearly. Your boundaries, your availability, and your non-negotiables. When you define what's acceptable, they must adapt or walk away. Reframe challenges. If they accuse you of being too distant or too harsh, don't defend. Flip it. I value efficiency over small talk. Or, I prefer results to endless discussion. Your reframe becomes the new reality. Frame control is silent leadership. You don't need volume or aggression. You need consistency. When you refuse to accept someone else's terms, they either follow you into your frame or they lose interest. That imbalance creates respect and shifts power to your side. You're no longer reacting to their drama. You're writing the script. 8. Cold kindness. Discipline your generosity. Kindness is often equated with weakness because most people give without thought. Cold kindness transforms generosity into a tool of power. It's compassion that's measured, not compulsive. You choose when to be kind and when to withhold it based on strategic value, not emotional impulse. Give selectively. Offer your help or resources only when the other person has demonstrated respect for your time and energy. That scarcity makes your kindness meaningful. Be courteous, not cringing. You can say no politely without guilt. Thank you for asking. I'm focusing on my priorities right now is both gracious and uncompromising. Provide value but set a price. If someone requests your expertise, frame it as a transaction. I can help you. Here's what I need in return. Whether that's time, loyalty, or acknowledgement. Maintain emotional detachment. You can still empathize, but you never bleed. Feel for others without letting their issues drain your power. Reflect sympathy, but retain your distance. True cold kindness disturbs manipulators and attracts genuine allies. The needy and manipulative will label you arrogant or selfish, but that's part of the filter. You're sifting out takers from contributors. Your disciplined generosity becomes a beacon for high-value connections. You're not cruel, you're in control. 9. Become untouchable, sovereignty over reaction. All these moves lead to this final state, untouchability. This isn't arrogance. It's mastery of your inner world so that no external force can hijack your mind or emotions. You've learned to neutralize guilt, to weaponize perception, to withhold explanations, to mirror manipulation, to govern your feelings, to disappear on your own terms, to define the frame, and to dispense kindness selectively. Now you integrate them into an unbreakable armor. Internalize every tactic. Don't treat these as tricks, embody them. Let detachment, discipline, and decisiveness become second nature. Your default reaction to any emotional hook is calm analysis. Maintain unpredictability. The more you standardize your responses, the more manipulators adapt. Inject occasional variability. Respond calmly 80% of the time, but once in a while vanish without a trace or offer unexpected generosity. Keep them on their toes. Cultivate your inner standard. Your self-worth must arise from your own principles, not from external validation. Regularly review your values, goals, and boundaries. Adjust them if needed, but don't apologize for them. Observe without engaging. In emotionally charged situations, become the detached observer. Watch the dynamics unfold like a strategist studying a battlefield. Intervene only when it serves your objectives. When you reach untouchable status, people stop trying to manipulate you because they recognize resistance or because they simply can't parse your motives. You become a psychological fortress, strong enough to let them see their attempts bounce off without hesitation, soft enough to maintain empathy where it counts, and nimble enough to adapt when the game changes. You've traveled from being reactive and controlled to becoming a master of your own mind. This journey isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong practice. Start by choosing one principle to reinforce this week. Maybe silence in response to guilt or a clear frame in every conversation. Then layer on the next. Over time, these tactics fuse into a new default operating system. One of unshakable confidence, strategic detachment, and silent leadership. Remember, true power isn't about dominating others. It's about ruling yourself. When no one can manipulate your emotions, perceptions, or decisions, you become the hand pulling the strings. That's being untouchable. If you're ready to live beyond manipulation, beyond reaction, take these principles, make them your own, and watch how your world transforms. No one plays you, you play the game.